Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be kind of whispering and trying not to scream when something happens because it's not even 5 in the morning. And I don't want my neighbors to wake up. So we'll just whisper. So here's a group of Wahl Eversharp pens. And I was describing this one yesterday, saying how it needs a nice stub nib to match its short stature, its stubby stature. And what happened, but in the mail yesterday came this pen, short pen, ring top, and it has a stub nib in it. So I should just do the little switcheroo. But I can't. I actually like both of the pens, so I'm going to keep them both for the moment. That's the problem with me. I'm my best customer. I buy pens thinking I want to sell them, and I end up wanting them myself. But never fear. I've got bills to pay, so these pens will soon be in your hot little hands. Well, maybe not these pens, and maybe not that soon, but at some point. I can't take it with me. So this is one of the more common Wahl Eversharp patterns, this sort of chevron style. And do you think I have a pencil to match this? No, I don't. I need a small ring top pencil. I do have pencils to match the longer versions, larger versions. So anyway, here are, I think, all of the Wahl Eversharp chevron pens that I own. And is that enough? Do you think that's enough? Probably not. There's probably others that I want to get. I know there's a larger size than this. This is a 4 nib. But I know there's a 5 nibbed version in a fatter pen. Is there a 6 nib? I can't remember. But I just wanted to talk about this stubby nib thing going on. So my thought is to put the right nibs in the right pens. So let's pretend I had an example of every kind of nib that belongs, a Wahl Eversharp number 2 nib that would be firm and flexible and fine and broad and italic or stub, and I would put them in the correct pen. So this one, the stubby pen, I thought a stub nib would be nice. For the long, slender version like this, oops. I guess these are the same size. It's hard to tell unless you have them side by side, and sometimes even side by side they look alike. It's not until you unscrew them that you realize that they don't. See, this one is bigger than that one. And can you tell that when you look at them side by side? Almost, I guess you can. Your eyes are tuned better than mine. But, and you can see here, this is missing a lever. This had a leverectomy. And I have not put a replacement lever back in because I don't know how to do it. I don't have the right tools. It does have a sack in it, and I can use a toothpick to press the pressure bar. And I've turned the nib around so you don't see the offending hole, the appendectomy scar, the leverectomy scar. Anyway, this one has a number 3 nib, and it's really fine, very delicate. Really a sweet little pen. That works nice in that. This one is a number 4 pen, fatter all around. And I have, I think in this pen, if I remember correctly, yeah, I have a sort of big, robust, loud, flexible nib. It sort of wants to go broad. It's noisy. It's the person at the party that laughs a lot. You know, tells the joke and then laughs at it. Here he is at the party. Ah, 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 ah. Here's a cigarette. You know, he tells his joke, and he just, even if it isn't all that funny, he laughs as if it was the funniest thing he ever heard. That's this pen. This pen. This one actually tells the funnier joke. Subtler, quieter. You know, the person next to him hears the joke. It's going to be about him. He's going to say something about this guy, and it's going to be spot on because he's clever and subtle. And that's that one. Let's see. This person is the hearer of the joke. Oh, he has a very loud laugh. So he's gonna laugh too loud. And this guy's gonna get upset because he knows that they were talking about him. Because of this guy, he laughed too loud. So you see why I have to keep all these pens, because they're all so goddamn different. Be quiet, Peter. Use your indoor voice. You know, the loud, noisy, so this is the sort of the, I don't know, what sort of people are these? Here's the hapless Lou Costello, short and always befuddled. And here's the straight man, the Bud Abbott. So he delivers very straightforward all of the preamble that goes into the funny story. Who's on first? And here's Bud Abbott getting flustered because he doesn't understand how the English language works. Now, if Pierre Gustafson were listening to that story, let's see, would he be here? He might not understand any of it because he doesn't understand jokes or baseball. Is that the one where you have a touchdown? No, I know what baseball is, but barely. There's so many personalities in these pens and in the nibs specifically. That's where most of the personality is. But when you match the nib's personality with the pen that they're in, it actually accentuates the line that it makes. So it is a package that you're getting. And if I had absolutely identical nibs in two pens, one short, one long, I would write differently, I think. I would draw differently. The subtle weight of the pen might change one little tiny thing in how I'm thinking about this drawing I'm doing, or what the word is going to be that I'm going to write. You know, if I get to the word and I'm thinking, do I want to say the word jerk or the word asshole, for example? You're really a jerk. But if I had that long thin pen with that same exact nib, I might say, you're really an asshole. Because that would make, it would make me think differently. Like, you can't help but think differently. Or am I just too impressionable? Write your answers below. What do you think? It's just a mystery. I don't have, well, this pen I filled yesterday. No, I did not fill this one. This is the one without the lever. This is the leverectomy one. This is a really hair-springy nib. This is great for calligraphy. This one, this person at the same party of people telling jokes, this is the one that would tell the limericks. There once was a gentleman from, or whatever, he would have the limerick. There's something lyrical about this nib. So even though limericks are the poor man's poetry, this guy would tell the limericks. This guy would tell the jokes that usually involve someone dying or being hurt. The straight man would just, where did my straight man go? This is the Lou Costello. Now the Lou Costello, I mean, I'm trying to think of, here's a comedy team. We've got Bud Abbott, and Costello. We have George and Gracie. There are two G's, George and Gracie Allen. George Burns and Gracie Allen. And there are two straight guys. This is the straight guy, and this is the clueless person. But in this combination, it's Costello that just gets befuddled and just traumatized by the situation or the misunderstanding. Who's on first? He's just completely fussing and bubbling and just fuming over because of his misunderstanding. Whereas Gracie Allen is the dumbest person on the planet in her persona. She might have been smart, I don't know. And it's poor George who is the befuddled one and the one that's trying to get his point across, and Gracie is clueless. This guy never breaks a sweat. He's always sweating. And here George is the sweater, or the whatever, perspirer. Okay, where was I? Limericks. So, I don't know. What you have to do, what you guys have to do if you're sensitive, even if you're not sensitive, try this test at home or at the pen store. Ask for 2 identical pens. I can just hear the pen store salesperson be like George Burns here, and we're a combination of Gracie, and we're worse than all of these people are, as we're asking for yet another example. But ask for 2 identical pen nibs, if you can do this. And I imagine you can with a modern pen. You can buy the extra fine Mont Blanc in the small size and the extra fine Mont Blanc in the big size, and you can try them out. And one is going to make you want to write differently. Physically, you know, it's different in your hand, of course, but I think just the look of it is going to make you write or think differently. You're going to use bombastic words with the big Mont Blanc. You're going to use the subtle words using the thinner, quieter, more polite one. Try that test at home. Try that test at your pen shop. Where did the one without the lever go? That one goes in a special spot. There. I use these pens quite often as the pens that I can't fix and therefore can't sell. I will use, like this one, I will put a Victorian dip pen nib in them, make a Franken pen out of them, because it's not doing anyone else any good. And yes, I can hire someone to fix that for me, or I could learn how to do it myself, but it's easier just to put this nib in and use it as a dip pen at my desk. Because look at this nib that's on it. It's just, come on. See, this is the problem with using paper, that my hands go all over the place. I hit spots where the oils of my hand, you're not seeing it, were. And that's enough to cause a resist for this ink. But this is a sweet nib, and I use these sorts of nibs in the security of my own desk, so I don't have to have it filled with ink. I just dip it to do my calligraphic work. This one, oh, this one too. Okay, that one goes up here. This one has a lever, but something else is wrong with it. I think there's some reason why. I don't know. Maybe it does work. I forget. Why do I have this one in here? There's nothing wrong with this pen. There might be something wrong with it that I can't see, which is why I have it in this drawer with a dip pen nib in it. If not, I can put this nib in this pen, because this is missing that, and I can switch. Here's a perfectly good Wahl nib that can go in here. But why is this in here? Why is that? My thought is that maybe there's something. I know one of these, I had a problem with the sack nipple was barely there. It had been chipped away, and there really wasn't anything holding the sack on. So I figured I'll just use it myself at my desk. So that might be the problem here, but I can't remember. Just leave it where it was. Now, why do I have 3 of these here? God, I get so confused. Okay, these are both missing. Yep. That's another missing one. Now maybe I will try to do a nib switch here. Shaking it makes noise. Maybe the lever bar isn't connected to it. Maybe that's the problem. E. Baxter. Oh well, I'll figure it out later. So even though my wish yesterday, but see, I'm wishy-washy. My wish yesterday was to put a stub nib in this pen, but there's something about the fact that this pen came together like this. I sort of like to keep it the way it was in this case, because I really like this nib. It fits the pen nicely. This one has the stub nib. This one I might sell. I might end up selling this one. I don't really do calligraphy that uses this kind of nib very much, and I've got enough pens that can do that. So this pen might be up for grabs. So if you're interested, just send me an email, piergustafsonstudio@gmail.com, and we can talk. And if you want to buy another pen, that's possible too. I've got lots of pens for sale. Not necessarily the ones that I showed here. Say goodnight, Gracie. Good night.